So here's my mom and my aunt back, let's see, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. And my aunt was a model, very successful, moderately successful. My mom was a successful musician, and she was a professional musician. She played for President Eisenhower and the President of Mexico. And then she played at the Sands Motel, I think, in Las Vegas professionally. She was on TV multiple times. I'll post those videos. She was in 3 minor movies. Here you can see her with John Wayne. I think her thing got cut on that movie. But here's with Marlon Brando. I don't know the story on that one. And Sophie Loren. And then I've got 3 movies that she was in, little minor ones. But what's missing in all of these discussions is like urgency. So now my aunt is facing dying, and she's getting less than mediocre care. So I've been saying it for a year now, because we've been on the roller coaster, especially the last 2 years, but all in all 20 years, because all of us have to go through the health system. So now that my parents are in their 80s, they've gone through the health system and gotten less than mediocre care, incomplete. The solutions, and I'm going to go through them, are getting marginalized, buried, and underfunded. Dean Ornish being 1, and the Pritikin program being 2, and Dr. Sinatra's program being 3, who I talked to him, University of Connecticut. He had it all ready to go, but there's no funding, so he gave up. And so I asked him, please help me come together and create a program for my dad. He needs this program because he had a divorce from my mom 50 years ago, a little bit less than that. And, you know, she's really upset about it still. And he's never, you know, he's holding these resentments for all these years, like estrangement, large estrangement from his kids, like me. So, you know, Chuck Norris, what you've gone through and you've done is have a close family. And so, what your dad experienced, and you said it right in here, is he came home from World War II with a problem. I don't know the details because I read it once a few days ago, but with a drinking problem and smoking cigarettes. And right in here, it's a little unclear if you know exactly why. And with all your knowledge on health, that's what I want to put in the show. So very simply, what I found out in all the research is that people who come home from war, they use these things to lift their mood. So all the bad memories, they submerge them into their subconscious. This is Dr. Figley's book. And so Dr. Figley's solution has not gotten implemented since the 1980s when he came up with it and started articulating it. But back in 1950 or so, the Rockefeller Foundation did a research study, funded it, with the University of Colorado, a professor there, a group of professors. And I've got it on my 100 pages of research I found at UCLA on all of these issues that I want to bring into the show. I want to bring my whole library and these 100 pages and all of these experts that have not been heard in all this time. So we can cure my family members. Yeah, we might as well try. And then we'll save the other people. So he articulated it back then. But back in 1950s, the Rockefeller Foundation funded the study, and they concluded, since the war, and it affected so many people in so many ways, I'm totally paraphrasing, we need to educate all Americans about how this has affected them and what the solutions are. So I'm totally paraphrasing, but that's exactly what they decided, and it never happened. So Rockefeller is on a committee with 19 other people 10 years ago, and I wrote it about in my 2-page letter, which you can read, and it refers to a 5-minute video with all the people who have been running Senator Rockefeller, a different, branch of the family or, connection to the family. He retired recently, but this group of 19 people, a third to a half are still running our healthcare system. And they made all the decisions that have denied my father the care he needs over the last 10 years, my aunt the care that she needs right now. And they're both being treated like dogs. So 30 years ago, 50 years ago, when my dad started at UCLA, he was a mainstream doctor doing research on the drugs. He was started on doing research on dogs, German Shepherds at UCLA, Harvard UCLA, on high blood pressure and medications probably. And so he took my brother down there one time and, not really thinking, wow, how's this going to affect this little kid? My brother said, why are they all hooked up to this machine? Can I take one home when you're done? Oh, no, sorry. They're going to be put to sleep because they're just, research animals. Okay, so now my dad and my aunt and myself and my mom have been all treated like animals over especially the last 2 years. So, like I said, they gave my dad UC Riverside doctors or graduates or people right in that area. They gave my dad memantine against our wishes, even after they saw his book. And I go into details in another letter. At a nursing home after he was put in I'll do it quickly now, okay? He was able to walk. Okay, we got the videos. Be able to dance, joke around, have fun, take care of himself. Severe dementia, because 8 years ago he got it from toxic stress overload, and the doctors wouldn't listen to me. And by the way, at that time, multiple doctors at UCLA were developing and writing the books, and then they came out around that time or soon after. The Alzheimer's cure. Bredesen, Dr. Dale Bredesen, the Alzheimer's cure program. And so that stuff didn't get, oh, wow, world, we know about it. Here it is, the cure. No. Even today, they're not running with the baton and making it known. Dr. Dale Bredesen, I talked to him a couple times. He's got 2 books. It came out about the time it took me until like 2 years ago to find them. Finally, after my dad is crippled and lying in bed and we got to take care of him 24/7. And he's in pain from giving multiple drugs against his wishes. So Dale Bredesen had the non-drug solution, but now he's on Maria Shriver's foundation. Instead of Maria Shriver going, wow, we got to fund that. Here's $1 million. No funding. I'll get into that. He was supposed to take care of 1,000 patients at UCLA, and I talked to multiple people, one at the clinic, and I recorded all the phone calls. They said he took over. He was supposed to help 1,000 patients with his non-drug approach, which uses like healthy living and exercise and vitamins and healthy eating and stress reduction and maybe family counseling, okay, on an outpatient basis. So after a short time, they fired him and slandered him. And he said, oh, Chris, no, they didn't fire me. Well, you know what? You misunderstood in the traumatic experience of it. They got rid of you, and now there's 1,000 patients there that are not getting treatment, according to 2 sources. One of them got $40 million several years ago. I said, let's put that into the program with Dale Bredesen. Okay? The reason why he's getting mediocre results is because he doesn't have a dedicated facility where people can live for a month and exercise and eat right like the Pritikin program. No, I found out that there's this great war going on because they had slandered Bredesen and they shut all the doors. Just let those patients continue to rot